They always return, don't they? The ones who broke your trust, shattered your heart, and walked away as if your worth was something they could discard without consequence. And now, here they are, standing at your door with apologies in hand and regret in their eyes. But why? Why do they always come back? Is it because they've truly changed? Because they've realized the depth of their mistake? Or is it something more self-serving? A desperate attempt to reclaim what they lost, only after they realized it wasn't so easily replaced? These questions swirl in your mind, demanding answers. But the truth is simpler than it seems. Betrayal is a choice, and their return is rarely about you. It's about them. You've spent countless nights trying to understand their betrayal, haven't you? Asking yourself what you did wrong, why they chose to hurt you, and if you'll ever be able to trust again. Meanwhile, they've lived their life as if nothing happened until now. Their return isn't a sign of their transformation. It's a reflection of their discomfort with the consequences of their actions. And as they stand before you, you feel the weight of it all, the pain they caused, the strength it took to rebuild, and the quiet peace you found in their absence. Their presence stirs memories you've worked hard to bury. But this isn't a moment to look back. It's a chance to stand firm, to remember that the person who stands here today is not the same one they betrayed. When someone betrays you, they make a choice. They choose to prioritize their desires over your trust, their convenience over your connection, their selfishness over your loyalty. And now, when they return, it's important to ask yourself, what are they really looking for? Their apologies may sound sincere, their words carefully chosen to tug at your heartstrings. But actions speak louder than words, and their betrayal spoke volumes. So, why now? Why do they come back after the damage has already been done? Often it's not regret that drives them. It's discomfort. Discomfort with the emptiness their betrayal created in their own life. Discomfort with the fact that the grass wasn't greener on the other side. They come back not because they value you, but because they miss the comfort you once provided. The love, the stability, the support. They thought they could find it elsewhere, and now they realize they were wrong. But their regret isn't your responsibility. Their discomfort isn't your burden to carry. You've endured their betrayal, faced the fallout, and emerged stronger. Their return isn't a gift. It's a reminder of the strength it took to move forward without them. And as they plead for a second chance, you must ask yourself, do their actions align with their words? Or is this just another attempt to escape the consequences of their choices? The answer doesn't lie in their apologies. It lies in the life you've built without them. Their return is not a moment for reconciliation. It's a moment for clarity, to see them and their motivations for what they truly are. When they come back, it's rarely for the reasons they claim. Their apologies sound sincere. Their words are wrapped in regret. But if you look closer, the cracks in their facade begin to show. They tell you they've changed, that they now understand your value. But the truth, their return isn't about you. It's about them. Why do they return? It's not love or genuine remorse that pulls them back. It's the discomfort they feel in the life they chose after betraying you. The green pastures they chased turned out to be barren fields, and now they see the garden they abandoned. They remember the comfort of your presence, the peace you provided, the support they took for granted. And in their return, they're not asking for forgiveness. They're asking to reclaim the convenience they lost. Their actions tell the real story. They didn't come back to mend the harm they caused. They came back because they are haunted by the consequences of their choices. They're uncomfortable with the void they created, with the silence that now fills the space where your voice once was. And they assume you'll be there, waiting, ready to forgive and forget. But this isn't about them. It's about you and the life you've built in their absence. Their reasons for returning don't align with your reasons for moving forward. You see their regret for what it truly is, a reflection of their discomfort, not their love. When they return, they don't come empty-handed. Their apologies are rehearsed, their excuses polished, and their promises grand. They paint themselves as victims of their own mistakes, hoping to evoke your sympathy. They appeal to your kindness, your empathy, your desire to believe in second chances. But these tactics are as much about manipulation as they are about remorse. They'll remind you of the good times, glossing over the pain they caused. They'll say things like, "I didn't know what I had until it was gone," as if that's supposed to undo the betrayal. They'll try to convince you that their actions were mistakes, not choices, hoping you'll overlook the intentionality of their decisions. Their tactics are subtle, but they are designed to disarm you. They use your kindness against you, banking on the fact that you might still care. They twist their regret into a weapon, a tool to pry open the door you've worked so hard to close. And if you're not careful, their words might begin to sound convincing. But remember, manipulation thrives on your doubt. It feeds on your second-guessing, your hesitation, your longing to believe that people can change. They count on you questioning yourself, wondering if giving them another chance might lead to something different. But the truth is, their return isn't about change. It's about convenience. You don't owe them anything. Not your forgiveness, not your time, and certainly not your trust. Their tactics might be persuasive, but your strength is greater. You've learned to see beyond words, to recognize actions for what they are. And now, as they stand before you, with their manipulations disguised as apology, you have the power to say no. It's not easy to say no, is it? Especially when the person standing in front of you weaves their regret into a plea for another chance. They look at you with eyes full of longing, words dripping with promises of change. For a moment, you might even feel your resolve falter. After all, a part of you once cared deeply, trusted deeply, loved deeply. But then you remember, their return doesn't erase the betrayal. Saying no isn't an act of cruelty. It's an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you value the peace you've built more than the chaos they might bring. It's a reminder that trust, once shattered, is not easily mended. They chose to betray you, and in doing so, they made a choice to walk away from the person you were then. The person you are now is stronger, wiser, and no longer willing to tolerate less than you deserve. Their regret, however genuine it may seem, doesn't entitle them to a second chance. Regret is their burden to carry, not yours to soothe. And while it's tempting to believe their promises of change, you've learned to trust actions, not words. Words are easy. Actions require effort. And if their past actions spoke volumes, you owe it to yourself to listen. By saying no, you're not closing the door out of bitterness or revenge. You're doing it out of love, for yourself, for your peace, and for the life you've worked so hard to rebuild. It takes strength to resist the pull of familiarity, to choose yourself over someone who once disregarded you. But that strength is your superpower, and it's one they can't take from you. Your peace is sacred. It's the result of every hard decision, every tear shed, every moment you chose to put yourself first. And now, as they stand before you, hoping to re-enter your life, you realize something profound. You've outgrown them. The person they betrayed no longer exists. In their place stands someone who knows their worth and refuses to compromise it. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's not about shutting people out. It's about keeping toxicity at bay. When they ask for forgiveness, you can grant it. But forgiveness doesn't mean access. You can let go of the bitterness without reopening the door. Your peace isn't theirs to claim. It's yours to safeguard. They might call you cold, accuse you of being unforgiving, try to paint you as the villain in their story, but their narrative isn't your responsibility. You don't owe them an explanation for your boundaries. Your silence, your refusal to engage in their drama, is louder than any words you could say. It's a statement of strength, a testament to the growth they can't undo. Remember what it took to find this peace. The sleepless nights, the heartache, the painstaking journey of rebuilding. That peace is priceless, and no amount of regret or apology can match its value. Protect it fiercely, because it's the foundation of the life you've built, the person you've become, and the happiness you deserve. Let them wrestle with their choices. Let them carry their regret. It's not your job to mend what they broke. Your job is to protect the life you've created and the peace you've reclaimed. And as they stand on the outside looking in, let that be their lesson. Betrayal comes with consequences, and your peace is one of them. The most powerful part of their return isn't their regret or their apologies. It's your clarity. You've spent time in the shadows of their betrayal, questioning your worth, replaying the past, and wondering if you'd ever feel whole again. But look at you now. Their return doesn't spark the same emotions it once would have. Instead, it highlights just how far you've come. Moving forward without them is not just a choice. It's a declaration. It's you saying to the world and to yourself that your happiness doesn't depend on their presence. Their absence, once painful, has become the space where you rediscovered yourself. You've built a life filled with meaning, with peace, with strength, and that life doesn't have room for the chaos they bring. They might not understand it. They might see your silence as coldness, your refusal as unforgiving. But the truth is, your decision has nothing to do with them and and everything to do with you. You've learned that letting someone back into your life isn't proof of kindness. It's a risk to your peace, and some risks aren't worth taking. As you move forward, you carry the lessons their betrayal taught you. You've learned to trust yourself, to value your intuition, and to prioritize your well-being above all else. You've learned that love, respect, and loyalty are not things you beg for. They are things freely given by those who truly value you. Their return is a reminder, not an opportunity. It reminds you of the pain you endured, but also of the strength you gained. And as you walk away, you leave behind not just the person who betrayed you, but the person you once were. Because you've grown, you've healed, and you've become someone who doesn't need their validation. Your story continues without them, and it's better this way. The chapters ahead are filled with possibilities, with people who see your worth from the start, with moments that build you up instead of tearing you down. And as you close the door on their return, you step into a future that's entirely your own. A future where your peace is protected, your happiness is prioritized, and your worth is never questioned again.